Great. All right. Well, with that, let's go ahead and get started. I went ahead and put the appropriate picture. So we had some cotton, coffee, and a croissant here. I tried to find some beignets because those were made with the cottonseed oil, but I had a little problem with that. So maybe next time we'll find it. So again, my name is Melissa Bastos. I'm the director of our corporate strategy and insights department at Cotton Incorporated. But I'm going to go back a little bit and just remind you about Cotton Incorporated and our mission. The mission for Cotton Incorporated is to increase the demand for and profitability of cotton through research and promotion. We're set up as a company to do these things. So I'll share with you today, of course, what we're doing within corporate strategy and insights team, but also other things that the company is doing as well from the marketing standpoint. So there are 5 divisions within, or 6 divisions rather, within Cotton Incorporated. There's agriculture and environmental research, there's sustainability, fiber competition, product development and implementation. There's also the global supply chain marketing team, and there's consumer marketing. The corporate strategy and insights team is within the consumer marketing division, which is under Senior Vice President Kim Kitchings. We also have advertising, corporate communications, and brand partnerships in this division as well. And the mission of the consumer marketing division is to position cotton as the fiber of choice among consumers and trade. And we do that through motivating consumers and the supply chain to search for and buy cotton items and affirm cotton as a first choice among sustainable and eco-friendly products, as well as develop strategic analysis of cotton opportunities and provide outreach to the textile industry. So now we'll focus in a little bit more to corporate strategy and insights, or CSI as we say for short, since that's kind of a long title. Really, the purpose of our division within the company is to assess the markets and look for the opportunities and the challenges for cotton. So we're analyzing market intelligence, research that we do, we're assessing those opportunities and threats for cotton, as well as we inform corporate strategies and evaluate the cotton programs. So what we do is we use our analysis and our research to help guide and inform program activities. For instance, if we're understanding the sizes of markets, what products are the ones that are most likely to be coming in and consumers are purchasing, we share that information, for instance, with product development. So as they're looking at, how they should develop or what areas they should focus on for developments, they know what are the priorities in terms of the market sizes. Also, we provide our intelligence for internal and external stakeholders. We received almost 200 information requests last year. So we're getting questions from industry participants within the company, externally, about markets, about consumers' attitudes and behaviors. They want to better understand the economics of the cotton situation. Lots of different questions that it's our responsibility to help them better understand. Also, we take the analysis and the information that we've gathered and that we've analyzed, and we deliver that to the cotton decision makers. Either that's through publications or presentations that the entire team presents, either virtually or in person as requested and as needed to help them with their cotton business. So besides me being on the team, we also have John Devine. If you attend the Cotton and Coffees quite often, you've probably seen John, our senior economist, present the cotton market outlook each year on the Cotton and Coffee. He also works closely with Judd Griffin, is a junior economist who helps him out with a lot of work that he's doing and is fairly new to the team. So he's learning and getting up to speed quickly. We also have Dr. Catherine Bruce, who focuses on the market intelligence and market insights. She really manages our in-house agile market research survey programs for us to talk to consumers a little more closely as needed in some of our surveys. Also, Sarah Curley, she's fairly new to the team too. She's only been here a year and a half, and a lot of people are here for many years. I've been here for 25, so everybody's new to the team to me, honestly. But also she's learning about consumer attitudes and retail and really helping us to better assess some of these markets and preparing presentations for us. Also, Haley Rocker, we claim her as our own. She does work for the larger consumer marketing division, but she helps us with a lot of our administrative work, but also our graphics. She takes our numbers and our data and our analysis and puts it into a more usable format for people to read and to enjoy looking at in some of our infographics and presentations. So there's really kind of three areas that we focus on: the economics area, analyzing cotton market fundamentals and imports of cotton goods. Also retail, just trying to assess cotton share at retail, and retailer health, how well retailers are performing and how that could impact consumer purchases. And also consumers. We study consumer behaviors, their preferences, their attitudes, motivations, and how they're buying and what they're buying, so that we can better understand the market and, again, where cotton has an opportunity. So just to give you an idea of some of the research that we do, last year we worked on about 25 different projects overall. We helped our sustainability team prepare the natural resource survey that some of you may have taken, and hopefully you all saw in your inbox, and thank you very much if you did fill out that survey about the resources that you use on your farms. We also do trade and retail. We look at the imports of what's coming into the U.S. We say 98% of what's being purchased in the U.S. is imported. So this is a very important resource of information for us to understand cotton share and what's happening is being imported. We also do research among industry professionals to try to understand some of the initiatives they have within their companies. And we talk to the end consumer. We talked to about 60,000 consumers last year globally in 13 different countries to really get into what it is that they are searching for, what attributes they are seeking, and where cotton fits into their purchases. So there's many different things that we look at in the area when talking to consumers. We look at specific categories, whether it be home textiles, baby care. We help with the nonwovens area, baby care like diapers and wipes, but also denim. What's the outlook for denim? We also look at just how consumers are shopping and the technology they're using to help them find the products that they want. Also, we ask about just cottonseed oil. What's the awareness there, and try to understand track some of that to see how it changes over time. Also, we look at just trends that are happening, like inflation, to ask consumers what's their overall concern and try to better understand how that might impact their purchases. So today, what I thought I would do is just kind of focus in on a few trends that we see happening and just talk about just some very quick information about what we try to understand and share with others, and then ways that the company overall is kind of trying to focus on some opportunities for cotton here. Again, these are kind of quick and short, but really to give you an idea of what we're doing. And there's way more information where this came from, and we're happy to share it with you as you would like. So we'll look at health and wellness, sustainability, and shopping shifts. So we'll start with the health and wellness area. This is certainly an interesting area right now. It's been important, but we see tremendous growth overall. And we'll just start with a slide. We're looking at secondary research here. It's important for us to stay aware of lots of different research from secondary to the primary work that we do as well. So according to the American Psychological Association's Stress in America 2023 research, you can see the percent of adults with high stress levels is actually higher now in 2023 than before COVID. And we see that mainly among the 18 to 34-year-olds where we've seen the largest increase, and also the 35 to 44-year-olds, where almost a third of consumers say that they are stressed. As life starts to get back to a faster pace after COVID, as we also see many consumers are concerned about things like they're still concerned about the pandemic or getting over what has happened in the past 4 years, but also international turmoil, looking at inflation issues that are really impacting their lives to increase the stress among consumers. So with that, we see a tremendous growth in the wellness economy, where shoppers and consumers are trying to better and alleviate their stress and better their lives. This wellness economy is expected to grow over 50% over this 5-year time frame. And this includes many different areas, from nutrition and healthy eating to exercise and active activities. But also we see growth in things like wellness tourism. There's also beauty and age changing research that's being done as well, and wellness situations also. So we see this being a very important market and something that we pay close attention to understand where are there opportunities for cotton. When understanding stress and the growth in the wellness market, though, what we do see is that comfort plays a very important role in all the different areas of wellness overall. And it just starts with comfort, whether it be they're wearing their cotton robes to the spa, or their athleisure when they're sightseeing, or their activewear when they're exercising. Comfort and clothing are very important to the wellness market. We actually asked this question back in March of 2020 when we were all told we needed to go work from home, something just very unusual for us. We asked consumers if they agreed or disagreed that wearing comfortable clothing helps me feel better right now. And you can see in March of 2020, the first on the slide here, you can see that 80% of consumers say that agreed with this statement. And what you can see is that we just asked this question again just a few weeks ago, and the percent who agree, 92%, is higher now than it has been since March of 2020 at its highest rate. So we can see comfort has become even more important to consumers. This is important for cotton. This is important because consumers associate cotton with comfort. As a matter of fact, 85% of consumers tell us that they believe cotton and cotton blended clothing is the most comfortable clothing, significantly more so than other fibers like polyester and rayon, to the main competitors for cotton. So this is important. Obviously, there's still challenges in this market that we have to be aware of. Activewear has always been kind of an uphill battle and a challenge, where a lot of consumers and retailers believe that, performance clothing is really synthetic. So there's definitely opportunities there for a challenge for cotton that we have to be able to address. And there's many opportunities as well. Obviously, our product development team has created performance features like our trans dry and wicking windows that helps cotton fabrics. It helps them wick moisture so that they compete in this market. But they've also created other types of technologies, like for bedding, that bedding and sleep is also a main area for the health and wellness market as well. So that they have created technologies to help bedding be cooler, help sheeting be cooler, so that it can also compete with some of the competition who's out there saying that they're better than cotton. But we also know that there's study and research that shows that consumers get a better night's sleep in cotton. And this is something that our advertising department has taken advantage of, to use that research for videos that they can share with consumers so that they understand that's cotton is what they need to sleep with. There's also other areas of research and things that kind of fit into this market. Obviously, cottonseed oil, there's some research that's showing that it could have a health benefit overall using that, and some future research that will go into that as well to see what benefits that would play into the health and nutrition of the wellness market. Also, we can say, knowing that activewear area is always kind of a challenge and something we look to, our advertising also did a naturals campaign where they showed these different athletes, as you can see from the slide here on the right, slides on the right, the different athletes doing their best performances in cotton clothing. From skaters to skateboarders to parkour, they showed that they performed at their best when wearing cotton clothing. It performed so well in 22 that they brought it back in 2023 to be able to show this information as well. So that's just an idea of understanding this market is extremely important and even growing in importance. And there's a lot of opportunity for cotton, and a lot of the divisions within the company are taking advantage of this to share this information with the consumers and help build demand. The next area we'll talk about is going to be sustainability. Now, I'm sure we've all heard a great deal about sustainability and how important that is. Actually, we've been conducting research on sustainability for 20 years. And really, we were conducting it before it was even popular. I remember taking some of it to meetings with brands and retailers and telling them we had some great research on sustainability. And they said, no, thanks, that's not really important or an interest to us. But certainly times have changed. This has become increasingly important to the market. But how concerning is it to consumers? What we're looking at in this slide is some research that we did to better understand consumers' overall concern about the environment and the changes taking place. And we see that 86% of global consumers, and I say global, we conducted this research among 7,000 consumers in 7 different countries. 86% say they are concerned, and that's remained pretty consistent. If you look at the green bar with the US percentages, we see the US has always been a little less concerned than other countries about the environmental change, but you can see that it's actually increased significantly from our study in 2021 to 2023. Now, it's important to note that while consumers are concerned about sustainability, They also say that it impacts their clothing purchases, about 57% say so. But what's most important to them when shopping for clothing, they still want to make sure those clothes are comfortable, they fit correctly, they're within the price point that they can afford to pay, and that's the style that they want and choose to buy for themselves. Sustainability is not necessarily a primary purchase driver that they seek out when shopping. But I tend to think about it when I'm buying food. I want my food to be heart healthy and I want it to be good for me overall. But if it tastes like cardboard, I'm not going to buy it. So for consumers, they're not going to buy it if it doesn't look good and fit their recommendations for what they need overall. But sustainability has become increasingly important. So in this sustainability and environmentally friendly area, what we do see, there's a lot of different initiatives, a lot of different words and terms being thrown out to the consumers. And really, words matter. Consumers don't fully grasp or understand all the things being talked about. And even as many in the industry are still trying to figure things out, consumers can be quite confused. But there are things that they do understand, like natural and cotton, natural fibers. That's something very important to them. But there's other areas where the industry is really focused, like circular fashion, circularity, where we see there is confusion among consumers about what that means. Only about a third of consumers say they've even heard the term before and understand what that means. Many have ideas of what it means, maybe clothing that's built to make their blood flow better, or maybe it has polka dots on it and they're circular. But of course, the industry is referring to those products that are designed or sourced from the beginning so that they have a longer life, and that once that life's over, they can be repaired or reused, or they can return to the earth overall. So it's really looking at that life cycle and trying to extend it as long as possible for clothing. So we did research among our industry professionals, working with our corporate communications team and a textile publication sourcing journal to talk to their audience and their subscribers to this magazine. And what we found is that 84% of industry professionals tell us that or say that circularity actually influences their design choices. This is an initiative for them of what they're doing in their companies. But we also wanted to ask the consumers that perhaps they don't understand that word circularity and what that means when it comes to clothing, but are they interested in some of these elements that make up circularity? And what we find in these bars that you're seeing here, this is the percent of consumers who say they're interested in elements of circularity. And what we see is that durability is by far their largest interest as well, but also half say they're interested in clothing that can biodegrade or that can be repaired as well. So there's definitely interest from the consumer in these areas. They just don't always fully understand it. But I think the most important point here is that the industry is trying to design for more durable clothing, and the consumers say that's one of their main interests overall. Because for them, that means if their clothing's lasting longer, then obviously that's better value to them. It's in their closet longer. And what we find is that that's very important overall. So we ask consumers to tell us, what exactly happens to your clothes for you to give them away or to get rid of them. And what we find is that 77% say they get rid of their clothing because they no longer fit. Certainly, that's what some of us do. Some of us hang on to those clothes and pretend like we're going to fit into them again in the future. I'm not sure who that is, but also we see that holes and tears, stains, color fades, these are reasons why consumers get rid of their clothing. So it's important for us when we're researching this and understanding consumers and what they do with their clothing and what's important to them, that we share this with the industry. So when talking to brands, retailers, manufacturers, we say these are the main reasons why consumers are getting rid of their clothing. But we have performance features at Cotton Incorporated that can help, like tough cotton to keep, some of their clothing lasting a little bit longer, or even some stain resistance that can be used to help extend the life of the clothing that consumers are wearing. But most importantly, we have research that shows that if their clothing are made from cotton, that they tend to last a year and a half longer in their closet. The more cotton, the longer it lasts. So it's important for us to share that with the industry, to be able to say durability is a key important attribute for consumers. It's important for circular fashion, and it's important to understand that cotton plays a key role in that. Not only is the fiber naturally circular, it's also durable, and it's what consumers keep in their closets the longest. So what is the opportunities and challenges for sustainability? Obviously, there's a lot of challenges around misinformation, information that gets put out there that's just not true, a lot of comparisons to cotton. But we definitely have a team in our corporate communications working closely with our sustainability division and our agriculture and environmental teams to make sure that they have fact sheets that are up on our website, our Cotton Today website, that they're able to share a lot of facts with people who are interested in learning the facts and more about water, soil, all the things that go into growing cotton and all the truths behind it. Also, we have research and videos on carbon sequestration. So knowing that cotton lasts the longest in consumers' closets, that's not only important to the consumer's bottom line, but that's important to the environment, because the longer the clothing lasts, the longer it sequesters this carbon that is then not released into the atmosphere. So that's an important point that we share with brands and retailers. There's also a lot of, obviously performance features we talked about too. But another important program that we're doing at Cotton Incorporated that's consumer-facing, Cotton's Blue Jeans Go Green denim recycling program that allows us to work with brands and retailers for them to have their customers bring their old denim in that's been recycled, turned into insulation. I think Heather was just showing you some of the insulation that she was using in her house when we got started. And so that's a great program. And to date, over 500,000 pieces of denim have been kept out of a landfill. So this allows the brands and retailers to participate in a circular type of program very easily and helps their customers learn more about cotton and focus on a cotton heavy product as well. Also, there's youth messaging that our advertising department focuses on. We work with a company called Young Minds Inspired that creates lesson plans that can teach the young consumers from the start, from grades 2 to 8, to be able to better understand the cotton, how cotton is grown, the sustainability behind it, but also microplastics, all these things that will help them be better educated about cotton so that they can ask those questions and that they can be empowered to make the great decisions to buy cotton when they're older. So for our third area, what we'll look at is shopping shifts. Now, we all know, and I'm not sure how many of you are shopping online these days, but before COVID, in this slide, what we're looking at is e-commerce share of apparel market. So only about a quarter of the products purchased were purchased online. And what we see during 2020, you can see that huge increase because when stores shut down, we really didn't have a lot of option besides just shopping online. So you can see 42% was share of apparel being purchased online overall. Now in 2021, 2022, as we were feeling more comfortable getting back out into the physical stores, we wanted to go touch, try on, feel the clothing. That dipped a little bit in terms of the share of e-commerce apparel purchases. But you start to see in 2023, that's starting to tick back up overall. And what consumers tell us is that shopping online has become very convenient for them. Now that we understand how to do it better, it's something that we can do much more easily than we did before COVID. Also, it allows them to comparison shop, to find deals and the clothing that they're looking for. What we see in this slide, this is the percent of consumers who say they prefer to do these different areas of the purchase journey online. So 69% of consumers tell us that they really prefer to start their shopping journey, the browsing, the identifying the products they want to buy online so they can look at multiple retailers and brands to see what they're looking for. Now, if they have specific questions about that, you can see only about a third of consumers say they choose to do that online. This is where somebody would choose to take that into a physical store and to talk to somebody about it or feel the product overall. And when it comes to purchasing, what we see is that 46% of consumers say they actually prefer to purchase their clothing online. That's definitely higher than what it was before COVID. We still see the majority, 54% of consumers say their purchases they prefer to make in a physical store. So it's important. This has grown significantly, but still most are shopping in a physical store. When it comes to repurchasing, it's a little bit easier for shoppers to say they prefer to do that online because they already understand how the clothing fits and how it feels. So where exactly are consumers shopping for their clothing? You can see from this chart that this is where online apparel and accessory purchases have been made in the past 12 months. So 63% of purchases were made at Amazon, about a third were Walmart, Target. We also see some Nike, Macy's, some of the specialty stores, but also some of those fast fashion retailers like Shein and H&M are making up 10 and 12% of purchases overall. So consumers are kind of shopping across the board online, really taking advantage of the opportunity to be online and getting their clothing directly shipped to their home or office or wherever they're getting their clothes shipped. So we know this is a growing area, and we know that it's quite important to the market, and it's becoming more important to consumers as they find it to be a convenient source of buying clothing. And we definitely want them to be shopping for clothes and to find the products they're looking for. Now, there are challenges to this. Actually, the de minimis imports is a challenge right now that we're really looking into. So de minimis, it's really kind of means, you know, the price point or other things, it's just too small to really matter, is kind of what it means. But what this means for imports is that if, you know, if consumers are receiving packages from overseas, these packages are not being taxed, and they're not necessarily being as scrutinized by customs. So what we see for brands and retailers who can directly ship packages to consumers in their homes, if they're coming from abroad, then they don't necessarily get tracked into the imports database that we tend to look at for things to help us better understand, like cotton share, to understand the products that are being brought into the country, of how much of that is cotton versus how much of that is other fibers or synthetic fibers. So we're missing quite a bit of data as this grows. It's kind of like a black box of information that we no longer have access to. So this could be a couple different things in terms of just the reported cotton demand in the US may be understated by 1 to 3 million bales in 2023 as some work that Barry has done to kind of look into this. But also the Cotton Research and Promotion Program revenue could be lost, as some of those taxes are not, those products being imported into the US are not being taxed, and therefore some of the importers are not, or the cotton imports are not being able to understand how much is coming in to pay into the program. So there's areas here that are definitely challenges, but we're doing quite a bit of work trying to better understand. You know, John really now is looking into a lot of this information to better understand what's available out there. We're also looking to do more consumer research to understand some of these areas that we don't have data, to see how much consumers are shopping and how much of that clothing is coming in. But there's still opportunities. Let's remember, shopping online, consumers are shopping. This is an important area for them to buy their clothes. Not only does it ease their shopping for consumers, many are not able to find the styles or the fits that they like in the store, so that they're able to go online and look and seek out those products that they normally can't find. Also, it's a great opportunity for our retail and brand partnerships, that they're able to work with brands and retailers to curate cotton products online on these different brands and websites, but also on social media. There's ways for consumers to just click and purchase directly from influencers, as other people that our brand partnerships and even advertising will work with, to help ease that shopping journey for consumers and help them find those cotton products very easily. Also, we're working closely with the researchers in the industry and others working to better understand some of the issues about online shopping and how that might impact cotton overall. But I think one of the main opportunities for us is the 50 years of marketing that's been put behind the Seal of Cotton trademark. When consumers are shopping online, they don't necessarily have a fiber content label to look at. There is some information on many sites that shows some idea of the content overall, but an easy identifier for consumers is the Seal of Cotton. And what we find is that over the past 20 years, more than 8 out of 10 of consumers recognize the Seal of Cotton, and they tend to associate it with very positive benefits. You can see from this chart, 82% of consumers say that they believe the Seal of Cotton represents sustainability. So they overall feel that it's sustainable apparel. Also, it tends to boost the brands that are using it. You can see 87% of consumers say a brand using this logo is concerned with quality. We also know more than 8 out of 10 say they're trustworthy. And this is good overall, because this is coming back to cotton as well. And you can see 82% of shoppers tell us that they'd actually like to see the Seal of Cotton on more products. So that kind of is an idea of some of the way we look at trends, how we try to understand it, and how it eventually gets funneled into the marketing areas where we work in the company, or the other research that we do to better understand the areas. So for the Corporate Strategy and Insights Department, we do a great deal of research to really help build the foundations for the company, for the industry, to understand where are those areas where cotton has an opportunity, and where those areas we need to really understand the challenges and see if we can overcome them. So we take this research and analysis and we put it into publications. We created almost 200 publications last year. In John's area for the economics, he has his monthly economic letters and his executive cotton update that comes out each month. Those are available on the Cotton Inc. website, and you can even sign up to get them directly delivered to your email inbox. We also take a lot of our topics on consumer research, but also some of the economics and pricing information to put into infographics that then we then also share with the industry, with about 4,000 different people from those lists as well. So this is ways we try to get the information out to really help the industry. Lastly, all the consumers, or all the individuals in our group, they present the consumer and economic and retail research to the industry, to brands, manufacturers, to mills, where we asked to go with our global supply chain department and others to help them with meet with their customers. So last year, we talked to 1,000 companies, over 4,000 attendees. We did this both virtually and online in 10 different countries we visited. And actually next week, both Sarah and Catherine have Latin America and South Asia presentations that they'll be providing for our staff in those areas to help give them some more insight on the health and wellness market. So with that, we tend to open doors. We bring up the questions, or we talk about performance or features that are looking to really help their cotton business. So we're hopefully try to add more questions and increase that client relationship with our overall. So just to wrap up, what I did want to leave you with is that we know from our research that 71% of consumers say that they prefer their clothing be made of cotton or cotton blends. And the next highest fiber on that list, 4% tell us they prefer their clothing be made of silk. So what we do know is that consumers love cotton. They find it to be the most comfortable fiber. They think it's the most sustainable fiber, and it's their preferred fiber overall. So what we need to make sure is that we continue to study these markets, these trends, things that are happening, to know what are the opportunities and challenges for cotton, to make sure that consumers always have the ability to purchase their cotton where they can find it. Thank you. I'm going to turn it back over to Grant now. Thank you so much.